Let me ask you about one other film that I'm intrigued with, and it's The Conqueror, where all the radiation seems to have contributed to the death of Susan Hayward and your dad and Lee Van Cleef and Pedro Armendariz and Dick Powell.
The cast and crew of the film had some ridiculous demographic. Something like 50% of the people contracted cancer after working on this film, and the thing is like 8% in the country, so it's a ridiculous number of people.
Now this has an interesting feature. It has a dust jacket. It's a dust jacket. Books used to have these to protect the covers. Of course, that was before they had dust repellent paper. And if you're interested in dust, we have a quaint little piece from the 1980s. It's called a Dust Buster. Dust Buster.
An atomic cloud rose over the Nevada desert on May 19, 1953. Soldiers and civilians watched as the plume was blown by prevailing winds. The blast was a nuclear test conducted at the Nevada test site 65 miles from Las Vegas. Its name was Upshot Knothole Harry.
You talking to me, Tannen?
The wind direction changed from what was predicted. Nuclear fallout was distributed across much of the United States and beyond. St. George, Utah, and the small towns along the Utah-Nevada border were about 140 miles away. Nuclear testing in the 1950s started a decades-long controversy that endures today. People affected downwind by cancer blame radiation fallout from the blasts.
The dust jacket. Dust Buster.
They mistrust the government that ordered them. On one side are radiation experts and government officials who say the fallout dose was not large enough to cause widespread cancer. On the other are individuals who believe they are victims of nuclear exposure and a government that was less than truthful.
St. George was a sleepy little community of about 4,800 people, and all that they were told was that there was going to be a religious extravaganza filmed in the area, and they were asked to keep it quiet, probably because Howard Hughes was behind it all. Well, little did they know that they would have one of the biggest productions ever made in Utah up to that time, with a $6 million budget, starring the incomparable John Wayne. But they got more than they bargained for. They got a lot of money, they got a lot of fame, and then soon they garnered considerable notoriety as above-ground testing, and the latent effects of that became associated with The Conqueror.
You're supposed to be Clint Eastwood?
An atomic cloud rose over the Nevada desert on May 19, 1953.